One of the red flags that you can always see with the franchise system is when there's a lot of turnover, of franchisees. And this is something that CertaPro's really, really good at. Your job is to go out there to market, to build relationships in the community and network, and build and train your team and oversee your team so you can grow your business, right? This is something that I coach our franchisees on. We have a mastermind group for franchise owners. And, one of the concepts is around buying back your time. As you get busier and busier as an entrepreneur, you need to outsource and you need to buy back your time, because your role as a franchise owner is not to be out there the one doing the work. It's to go out there to... Welcome to our Franchise Empire newsletter, where we highlight one franchise of the week as well as one franchise resale that is listed for sale somewhere in the United States. If you want to get these franchises in your inbox every single week to read at your convenience, you can go to franchiseempire.com/newsletter to subscribe for free. Let's jump into it. Today, we're going to cover a low-cost franchise that shows $2.7 million in sales. That's for the highest grossing sale unit owner. We're going to talk about a resale in Florida that shows a revenue of $1.1 million over the last 12 months. We'll talk about a finance guy who bought an unexpected franchise in a booming industry. And I'm gonna provide you a resource that gives you the answer to, can you make passive income with a franchise? We're gonna dive into all this stuff as we're just gonna dive into it. I don't know what I was gonna say there. If you have any questions, franchise questions about the brands, whatever, drop them in the comments. We stream this to a couple different platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, etc. So you can drop your comment; it'll pop up, or your question. We'll handle those at the end. Tim Griffin, I see your test. It's working. And I figured out this that there's a new way for us to do different views, which are interesting. So I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. Which is pretty cool. It only took me a year to to figure that out. For those of you who do not currently get our newsletters, if you're not on our email list, then you can get this entire thing in your inbox every Sunday morning. So this whole shebang went out Sunday morning, going over, all these details at I think we send it out at 8 or 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning. So go to franchiseempire.com/newsletter, enter your email address, and we'll send this to you for free every Sunday. And there might be a bunch of you who are on our email list, but maybe you don't have us like whitelisted. Maybe it goes to junk or spam, or maybe you need to put us in like your focused inbox. So go in there, check for, just type in Franchise Empire, and because that's where the email comes from, and then make sure you whitelist us so you can see these emails. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive in today. So the featured resale, we featured many resales with CertaPro. Why have we, throughout the last year of doing this newsletter, featured so many resales from CertaPro? Well, because CertaPro is they are the number one largest painting franchise in the U.S., and they've been around a long time. And so what happens is you have franchisees who are retiring. They've been in their business 10, 15 years. And we've actually had multiple clients over the past couple of years that have bought CertaPro painters resales specifically. They're just a quality brand. I know that the support they provide franchisees is pretty strong. They link you up with a mentor who's another franchisee. You have a business coach through the franchise system. I think they do P&L reviews. I've heard that the support is pretty robust. But anyways, this specific resale, let's dive into it. And actually, I'm gonna drop this bad boy here So at any time, you go to franchiseempire.com/resales, and you'll be able to schedule a brief call with our team, either to get you linked up with this specific resale if you're interested and are in the area, or if you want us to search what resales are available in your area. So a little bit about CertaPro if you're not familiar with them. CertaPro. Oh, by the way, if you're watching, wherever you're watching, whether LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever, hit the like button, right? This information is completely free. The only thing that I ask is that you just press the little like button because it will help the algorithms show this video to more people and get more exposure, which I appreciate. Thank you in advance. Okay. And it's free, right? Thumbs up. You hit the thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything. All right. So this week, like I said, CertaPro, they were established in 1992. They have nearly 500 franchise units throughout the US and Canada. I mean, they are just a juggernaut in this specific space. As I've mentioned before, they are the largest residential commercial painting franchise in North America. And Entrepreneur Magazine ranks them number one overall in the home services industry. Our team put that in there. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of those rankings just because they're deceptive to people. It just basically means that they have the largest system. The way those rankings work in Entrepreneur Magazine, it's based on size, essentially. Size and total sales. It doesn't necessarily mean that franchisees are seeing the most success if you see it in the Entrepreneur rankings, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. So, okay, this one's in South Miami, guys. South Miami, Florida. I'm here in Florida. We have a lot of clients in Florida. Florida is a very business friendly state. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of money in Florida as well, particularly, in some of those southern markets. Um, this particular franchise was started in 2016, like in this territory. The asking price is only $200,000, which is pretty wild. I would imagine that means that there's some opportunity for improvement and margin, because typically the asking price is a multiple of the profits. But we only have these high level details here. Of course, if you were to inquire and set up a call with our team, we could get you introduced to the franchise system, who can then facilitate the process of you signing an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, basically a confidentiality agreement, to be able to get more specifics and look at the actual profit and loss statements of this business. Oh, what? It's okay. My goodness, I gotta pay attention. It says the cash flow is 213. So yeah, interesting that this is only selling for 195. Let's see our team's take. Uh, CertaPro has a really strong item 19. If you're not familiar with what the term item 19 means, it is the section in the franchise disclosure document, which is the legal document that all franchises have to provide to prospective franchise buyers. And if they're going to say, hey, you can make this much money, or here's how much money someone is making, it has to be an item 19 legally disclosed. If it's not in there, they can't say it, right? So they do show some strong financials, and they show that the average gross sales is 2.08 million for franchise locations that have been open for at least 2 years in business. So this is clearly underperforming. It is underperforming by 50%, right? So it's started back in 2016. It's been operating for 8 years, and it's underperforming locations. So, basically there's opportunity for growth. And we already covered this before. CertaPro, one of the strongest home services franchise. They have a strong hands-on training of 5 weeks and support for all their Zs, which means franchisees. They have a 90% plus retention rate in their franchise system over the past 3 years. Like, one of the red flags that you can always see with the franchise system is when there's a lot of turnover, of franchisees. And this is something that CertaPro is really, really good at. So again, if you're interested, if you're in Florida and you're interested in this specific resale, And you want to find out more information, go to franchiseempire.com/resales. Um, you need to have a bare minimum net worth of $150,000 to work with our team. Certa Pro specifically may even have a higher net worth requirement. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. But most of the clients that we work with on average have a net worth of somewhere around $300,000 to $500,000 and above. And that will put you in the best position to be financially qualified, to secure the proper funding, etc. I see that we got some comments coming in. Keep dropping your questions. I will make sure to address those at the end. So any questions that you have or comments, drop them in the chat or whichever platform you're on, and we'll hit those at the end. So our team have looked into a few hundred franchises and put together a list of 5 low-cost franchises that all make $1 million or more and that have a proven track record of both happy and profitable franchisees. So if you have a net worth of at least $150,000 and you want to see if the territory that you want is still available for any of these franchises, then you can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. All right, let's get back to the episode. All right, so quick client case study. So for those of you, you've seen our newsletters before. If it's your first time, we always have the same format every single time. We hit the resale, the featured resale. We hit a client case study. We hit our franchise of the week, and then we hit our latest podcast episode where you can go and get access to, resources, information, and kind of hot topics that are relevant to, franchise buyers and or franchisees. Client case study. So Mr. Ferris, who's just a cool dude, awesome guy. So he was a VP for Bank of America, and ironically enough, he worked with some business banking clients and helped, secure SBA financing for customers who were purchasing franchises. And when he started to see some of the financials and some of these applications coming through, he thought, I should look into this for myself. Him and his wife are a little bit more risk averse, and they didn't want to risk their entire life savings, on something that, hey, we don't know if it's going to work. But the good news is that Ferris has what's called a promoter personality. All of our clients, we have take this specific behavioral assessment at the very beginning part of working together, so that we can understand your DNA of how you're wired. It's part of the magic of how our team helps to source and connect you with the right opportunities that are specific to you. We're not just providing cookie cutter recommendations. And anyway, so he's not afraid to go out there and network. And so our team found them. So our process, we'll meet with clients, we'll go through the initial stuff, learn what's important to you, your skill sets, make sure you've got the right financial qualifications, et cetera, so that you can get funding. You can, actually qualify with the franchisors. Our team will present you with 5 to 10 specific franchise brands, give you the overall high level breakdown of those businesses. And then you will select somewhere between 2 to 4 of those brands that you want to be introduced to then start the conversation, learn more about the specifics of the business, and start the due diligence process. So after our team did that, Ferris and his wife, they wound up choosing a fire and water restoration franchise. Being in Florida, they felt that, jobs wouldn't be too hard to come by, and he'd be able to use his personality and kind of his skill sets to network with the right referral sources to feed their business. And anyway, so they're just getting kicked off here. Pretty cool story. Ferris is actually we have a mastermind for franchisees as well, where we, support with weekly accountability and business planning and quarterly and provide some trainings. And he's in that mastermind too. So just a great guy. All right, cool. Keep dropping your questions, and I will hit those at the end. If you're just joining us, we've already covered the resale. We've already covered the franchise of the week. Or no, we're getting ready to cover the franchise of the week. And just real quick, guys, if you're so in order to if you're not on these emails, to get the newsletter, you can go to franchiseempire.com, go to free resources. Oh, wow. Our team added a bunch of other ones in there. And go to Empire Builders newsletter, and then you'll just enter your email, and that's how you will be able to get these every Sunday morning. And or you can go to free resources, Empire Builder articles here, that top one, and then you can go through and you can see our past ones. We have all of the previous newsletters that we've done. They're all here. So you can check that out. And news to me, our team went in and added. We have a bunch of free resources for you guys. No matter where you are in the franchise buying process, we've got something for you. So go check it out. Actually, so we have our franchise buyer starter kit. That's like great if you're just like a super beginner, just starting to kind of get information about the process. That includes our a zero to profitable franchise ebook, little guide, as well as our franchise buying masterclass, which is a 1 hour video training on the fundamentals of buying a franchise. Super helpful, right? The other thing we have here, 42 high performing franchises. These are actually video clips, right? I got to set this up so this doesn't save information like that. These are actually video clips of all of our previous newsletters. So all we've done is taken out the 3 to 5 minute section of us covering the franchises of the week, and we have it where you can access all of them, which is pretty cool. It's super convenient. You don't have to watch through all of the other stuff here. Anyways, I'm not going to keep going through. We got some other ones here: 14 franchise buying mistakes, 5 low cost franchises that make $1 million plus. A ton of free resources for you. Hey, so if you want to figure out if you should buy a franchise and learn the fastest and easiest way to figuring out the best franchise to buy and everything you need to know about the process, then you'll want to go get access to our Franchise Buyers Academy. In our Franchise Buyers Academy, you'll get a behind the scenes look into specific franchises and exactly how much money they are making. You'll get simple formulas for finding money-making franchises and a blueprint on how to scale them into a franchise empire that can be sold for a lot of money later on. You'll be able to finally answer the question on, should I buy a franchise? Now you can get access at franchiseempire.com/FBA. Now let's get back to the episode. Let's jump into the franchise of the week. So franchise of the week is a franchise called Mr. Handyman. And they are a franchise that is under the Neighborly umbrella. Their history, they started in 2000 in Michigan, began franchising shortly after that. In 2015, they were acquired by the Dwyer Group, which is now Neighborly. Neighborly is the largest home services franchisor. They have about 20 different franchise brands. And again, if you want to see if any of the Neighborly brands are available in your area, what you'll want to do is, guys, part of the reason why we do this newsletter is, and part of the way that Franchise Empire makes our money is in helping to, make that introduction to the franchise companies. And then if you wind up buying that franchise, we receive a referral fee. So, we, to be really transparent, we like to put the names of the franchises, but I keep learning more and more that we'll wind up connecting with someone. They're like, oh yeah, I just went on the franchisor's website and reached out directly to them. Don't do that, because then we're the ones that provided the value to you. We want to be able to make that introduction because this is our business. This is how we make money. And then we get to work with you as well. So, if you're interested in any of these brands, make sure to go to our website, submit the inquiry. Even if you don't want to work with us, at least let us submit your information to the franchisors. But again, you could go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. So, Mr. Handyman, they have 329 franchise units, franchise fee of $65,000. Royalty of 7%, investment range of $123,000 to $160,000. So, that's why in the title, I call this low cost franchise, right? Because in franchise world, 120 to 160 grand is low cost. My first franchise, it was $340,000 to get that bad boy up and running. It's a lot of money. So, can you guess what this business does? Mr. Handyman is devoted to providing consumers with professional, safe, and reliable maintenance, repair, and improvement service. Okay. We've hired our local Mr. Handyman to do some work that was like pretty significant work. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that, but they do some good stuff, and they build customer trust by their professional approach, advanced computer systems, personalized marketing programs, all that good stuff. So, the franchise owners, your job is not to perform the actual maintenance and repair, but it's to employ individuals that are experienced in doing stuff. Your job is to go out there to market, to build relationships in the community and network, and build and train your team and oversee your team so you can grow your business, right? So let's dive into some of the numbers in their 2024 franchise disclosure document. You can see here, I've got to figure out, I've got to, there's, I've got to figure out a way where I can draw while I'm doing this. I think there's an application. But so you can see single unit franchisees. Boom, 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 boom. So single unit franchisees average $890,000 in sales. Single unit means they own one territory. That's it. A territory depends for each franchise. It could be a certain amount of households. It could be a certain population. It just depends on the business. But that's one territory. That's it. One single territory, average $890,000. The top franchisee who owns one territory does $2.7 million. I want this to come through for you. That means that person, they paid their initial $65,000 franchise fee, and these startup costs, by the way, include the $65,000 franchise fee. So they paid their franchise fee. They had startup costs somewhere between 123 and 160 grand, and they wind up building a business that did $2.7 million in sales. How cool is that, guys? How cool is that? One of the reasons why we're huge advocates of service-based franchises, just the startup costs are much lower, and the opportunity to scale and to build something meaningful, and with high sales, the opportunity is, with the right franchise brand, significant. You can see that the lowest performing franchisee does $276,000 in sales. Median is $801,000. Again, I'm not going to go through every single number individually. If you want to do that, go to thefranchiseempire.com, go to the newsletter, and you can, pull this one up specifically, and you can look through it here. And you can subscribe here on the right to make sure that that you get the future newsletters that we send out on Sunday mornings, and you can review all this information at your own leisure. But when we look at the different levels, so what's cool about this is that they show the difference between, hey, people that own single units, people that own 2, 3, 4, and then 5 to 6. Here's what they're doing, and you can see, how the numbers compare, and so you can see that, like in this instance, right, the it looks like the sweet spot is really owning 2 units. That really looks like the sweet spot here, because the 2-unit franchisee has the highest gross at 3.5 million, right? The average gross sales is 1.2 million, median over a million. And then you can see all the numbers for the for the other, although obviously the average is way higher here. The average is for 5 to 6 unit franchisees 2.6 million. Which makes sense because they own so many units. But if you break it down, 2.5 divided by 5, that's about 500,000 per unit when the average for a single unit is almost $900,000, right? And so, yeah, I would say the sweet spot is somewhere around having about, somewhere around the two unit mark for this specific franchise. Again, if this specific franchise, if you want to check and see, if you want us to check and see if it's available in your area, go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. Make sure to drop in those questions that we ask you before you schedule the call. Make sure you drop the name of this franchise. And so that our team is prepared for your conversation. Okay, benefits for the franchisee. Let's talk about that. Um, More than 100 million U.S. home and business owners, including those in your neighborhood, need help tackling to-do lists. Busy families, baby boomers, seniors, they don't want to spend their time on fix-it chores around the house. My goodness, no, I do not. I'm a huge believer in hiring people. This is something that I coach our franchisees on. We have a mastermind group for franchise owners, and one of the concepts is around buying back your time. As you get busier and busier as an entrepreneur, you need to outsource and you need to buy back your time. And so this is like one of those areas. Work-life balance. This particular business has a family-friendly Monday through Friday work week with no on-call or emergency work after hours. Pretty interesting. I would think that I would assume that work is done on the weekends, but looks like this is a Monday through Friday type business. You don't need any experience, right? You don't need to have done any handiwork. Most of the owners are former top-level business executives, because your role as a franchise owner is not to be out there the one doing the work. It's to go out there to be able to properly recruit, hire, and train the right people, to be able to, drive marketing and sales for your business and grow your operation, right? Not to go out there and be the one actually doing the individual work. High repeat customers. Over 70% of your revenue will come from repeat customers, right? So you do the job well and you have a customer for years to come, which is pretty cool. And guys, as you probably experience, hiring, contractors or anyone in this space, they can be so unreliable, right? So, I actually just did a day in the life video with one of our clients who bought a painting franchise. He's about 18 months in. And so stay tuned for that. That's going to be a cool video that's going to come out. But we went out to this house where they were doing a painting job, and the way he got that painting job was he painted the neighbor next door's house, right? So you go in, you do a good job, you get referrals, you get repeat customers, stuff like that. Again, I already talked about Neighborly. They have 19 different franchise brands, just a juggernaut in the space. So our team has access to all of the Neighborly brands. So definitely, if you're interested in just this space at all, go to franchiseempire.com/check territory, schedule a brief call with our team, and we'll be able to figure out which ones could make sense and be able to quickly help you understand which ones are available in your area or not, so you don't have to waste your time. Okay. All right. Last but not least, before we dive into some of your questions, in the latest episode of the Franchise Empire Show, that's interesting. There is some sort of mismatch that happened with our team here, because this doesn't align with what I had put above. But looks like in this one we have our team hitting on a franchise that generates $2.5 million in recurring revenue, and so we're going to be talking about that in this particular podcast episode. You can watch it on YouTube. You will need to go to the Franchise Empire YouTube channel, right? So that's where it is. It's not on the one that says my name. And you can watch it on any of the audio podcast platforms, right? So whatever audio podcast platforms that you listen to, we're on all of these. Just type in Franchise Empire Show. And This is it on YouTube, right? So go to Franchise Empire and then go and subscribe there. All right, let's hit some questions now. Yeah, our team can help you for sure. Go to So what you want to do is go to franchiseempire.com. There's a blue button in the corner, and then click to schedule a call. So the territory check ones that I talked about before, those are like if you already kind of know the franchise or the franchises, and you want our team to just inquire about that. But go to franchiseempire.com, schedule a free call, and you will answer a couple of questions, and then if you qualify, you'll be able to schedule a call with our team. Bada boom, bada bing. What would you say is the best industry to be in for business? I think it depends on each person. That's like saying, what is the best protein you should eat? Just depends. We work with a lot of service brands, but through all sorts of different industries. We've had clients buy fire and water restoration franchises, painting franchises, senior care, men's health, um, garage door installation service, all kinds of interesting industries. Let's see. I'm going to skip through some of these. Do you think you should stay away from restaurant and hotel franchises? Depends on your goal. I mean, I personally am not a fan having owned food franchises. I'm not a fan of it. Food is very expensive overall, and has lower margins. Now, if you're someone that has like a lot of capital, really basically in order to really make money in food, if you don't want to be an owner operator, you need to have at least 3 locations. So if you're in a position where, you can comfortably open 3 locations, put a strong manager in place to, kind of oversee operations, et cetera, could make sense. Hotel franchises, you have to have a tremendous amount of money to be able to open a hotel. So, um, I don't I don't know a lot about the hotel franchise space. It's just not one that we cover because it just is such a small percentage of people can even qualify for that. Do I think that franchising or licensing is better? It depends. So some people will, based on this is why we have our clients do, behavioral assessments. Because some people, and frankly, we just tell them, hey, like buying a franchise probably isn't for you because you're not going to follow the system. So if you're someone who can follow the system, will follow the system, and it's a proven path, there's a lot of benefits to franchising because you have the logo, you have the systems, you have all of those things, right? There's no guesswork. Licensing is different. So, as an example, like CrossFit is a licensing opportunity, right? Where so CrossFit, you think about it, they all have different names, the different gyms. Like I think the one that I've been to before is called like Mousetrap Fitness, but it's a CrossFit gym. And so, you can't use their name. Um, for the name of your business. Franchising, you can. So just depends. What is the worst type of business to buy during a time like a recession or pandemic 4 years ago? Oh man, I think there's so many businesses struggled during the pandemic. I mean, basically any business that did a lot of stuff in person really struggled. So yeah, I don't think there's any one simple answer to that question. Tim, he asked if you got knocked off the live. Wasn't us. Wasn't us. Oh, cool. Jeremy is one of our clients. Kevin sent me a new prospect, starting the process with them with the next few days. Awesome, man. Glad to hear it. Great, guys. Well, it looks like that is the end of our time, end of our questions. Um, What's a good home care franchise? There's a bunch. There's a lot. I would recommend that you connect with our team. And really, the answer to that is it depends on you, what's available in your area. Everyone has their own individual pros and cons, and not everyone is available in your market. But our team has covered and has access to a bunch of different home care franchises. So I would recommend that you go to franchiseempire.com/check territory, and you can propose that question to the team. And after doing your Zoracle, understanding your financial qualifications, and they would be able to assist you with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Hey, before we go, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already. And the biggest thank you that you could ever give me is to share this episode with someone who you think will benefit. That means that we can share this message with more people and hopefully positively inspire them like we have you. So thank you. And until next time, go build your empire.